Welcome everybody, this is Sheri Traxler with ViREO Life, author of Go Forward, 28 Days to Eat, Move, and Enjoy Life God's Way. Today I want to talk about why it is important to eat intuitively. These are Monday motivations, and I thought end of National Nutrition Week or end of National Nutrition Month, we need to talk about intuitive eating and a little bit of motivation on that. So I'm going to reflect just on this past week how being an intuitive eater helps me. One of the biggest ways is when I used to eat mindlessly and munch while I was working on things. Not only would I eat way more than I needed, but I also couldn't really focus on what I was doing. I know it sounds strange, but even just working on something on the computer, if you're munching on something versus just focusing, you really can get a lot more done. And if you're watching TV, watching a movie, you really enjoy the movie more. There's not a distraction with that. Another big help by not eating mindlessly is there was always this sense of, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this, I'm sure I'm not the only one, there was always this sense of if I needed to take a break from what I was doing, mentally I'd been focusing for a while. If food was my break, then I could go eat something, but if I was distracted with it, doing other things while I was eating, then I really wasn't taking a break, and I came back feeling kind of sluggish because I had eaten when I wasn't truly hungry. However, when I'm working on something and, I need a mental break, and I go outside, or I go for a walk, or I do some stretches, or I do a craft or something that disengages my mind, but it's not eating, it makes things feel more in control. It puts them in their place. That doesn't mean you can't snack. It doesn't mean you have to eat just at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But if you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then one or two other times during the day that you're truly physically hungry, you take a break and eat and focus just on the eating, it puts some order in life. It says, this is the time I'm focusing on nourishing my body. This is the time I'm focusing on making phone calls. This is the time for me, this is when I'm meeting with clients, or when I'm doing my coaching calls, or when I'm writing content or getting ready for videos or editing videos or whatever it might be. Things are broken up into times. And for me, that feels more in control than just mindlessly eating whenever the whim starts. I have a client who I was talking with about the way my pantry is situated is in a hallway between the kitchen and the library. So it's a circular layout of the home. So the pantry is not just off in a corner somewhere. That means it would be very easy if I was a mindless eater, just as I'm going through the pantry to grab something and keep on going. And then you're never really truly hungry, because you're constantly munching on stuff, and it makes the whole day feel much more chaotic. So bringing order into my life is one of the huge benefits of being a mindful, intuitive eater. That's just a little motivation for you. There are 1,000 reasons, and 1,000 reasons that are backed up by research why being an intuitive eater is beneficial. But as you are thinking through this week, this last week of National Nutrition Month, I wanted to motivate you to, or at least give you some incentive to be motivated to consider intuitive eating if you've not already gotten into that lifestyle. It's not just about not dieting, it's also about being mindful and intentional with your meals. And in fact, I mentioned the pantry because later on, I think it's going to be in Facebook that I have, and I'll tell the story here, and then I'll include it in a Facebook post as well. This is the concept of intuitive versus impulsive. Sometimes when people are getting into intuitive eating, they think, well, that means I can have whatever I want. Well, yes, it does mean you can have whatever you want, but it's not impulsive, mindless, have whatever you want. I'm going to dig into that in another video sometime, but I want to go ahead and put that out there, food for thought, of not just intuitively eating, but not impulsively eating. Thanks so much for watching. Hope this gave you a little bit of motivation to try that. And if you've got questions on intuitive eating and what that looks like and what that entails, I can link some videos below for you on that. And until next time, as always, find your path and fulfill your potential.